Good morning, dear students. Today we shall begin with some of the examples related to threads. In my previous lecture, I discussed about the thread, main thread, thread priorities. Then we saw what is synchronization, all those stuff. So let's begin with some simple examples. Consider that we have a program. Everything in our code, the execution of all the code is done by our main thread. So we talked about the main thread in the previous lecture. For example, I have a class, let's say class sample, and I would like to print hi over here. So here we need public static void main, that is the main method. I'm just writing it shortcut. I'm using the shortcut over here, and then here it is system.out.println. Here I'm going to print hello or hi. Alright. So when I execute this sample class, when I execute this program, there is one thread that is called as the main thread that is responsible for execution of this entire code. Not necessarily only this one statement I have written just for the example. What if I want to print this hello or hi 5 times? Or what if I have thousands of lines of code? Right, so we have one particular thread that is called as main thread, which is responsible for execution of all these code. Now let's consider that I want to print hello 5 times and hi 5 times, and let me take two classes for that sake. So let's understand the concept step by step. I will take a class. Let's take a method called as show method, and here it's going to print hi 5 times. So to print hi 5 times, I will take a loop over here. You can take any loop. I will take for loop int I equals to 1. It has to iterate it for 5 times. So the condition given is I less than or equals to 5, I plus plus. So what it has to do? It has to print this hi for 5 times. In short, I have written it as SOP, but you have to write the complete statement system.out.println. So here we have the show method of class hi, which is responsible for printing hi 5 times. So same way, I need one more class. Let me take the same is show over here, and here again we need a loop. Let's say for int I equals to 1, and it has to execute this for 5 times. So the condition is I is less than or equals to 5. I is increment. Particular method is called. So these two are the methods we have written just to print hi and hello for 5 times. And consider the main method now. So for the main method, let me write the main method. And here this is public static void main string argument. So I am writing it in short. but you have to write it completely. So now to call these show methods which are there in these classes, what we have to do? First we need to create the objects of these classes, right? Using those objects and the dot operator, we can call these show methods. So to create an object, it is the name of the class. So let me take the object name as object1 equals to new, and the name of the class is hi. Similarly, I have to create one more object of, there is one object of class hi and there is one object of class hello. So this is new hello, and then using these objects we have to call the show method. So that is object1 dot show, and then object2 dot show. That's it. So this is close of main and this is close of class. So now when we execute this code, we know that the execution of our program begins from this place, that is from the main method. So when the program starts getting executed, the main thread will be executed, right? So the control goes to this particular statement. It will create object 1, it will create object 2, then we are calling the show method with respect to object 1. That means it will go to the show method of high class, because object 1 is object of high class. So what is there in the show method? Here we have a loop which begins with the counter 1, that is value is 1. The condition is true here, 1 is less than 5. So it gets inside this loop, and here we have the println method call. It has to print hi. Then I will be incremented by 1 because of this I plus plus, right? And then the condition will be checked, 2 is less than 5, that's true. It will print hi. So this will be done for 5 times. So once I becomes 6, the condition will be false and it cannot go inside this loop, right? So the control goes back to the calling method. Which is the calling method here? Main method. So main method had given a call to show method of high class, right? So after printing this hi, I'm going to write it over here. So hi will be printed for 5 times, and then all returns back to this, right? Then what is there in the next line? We have one more show method call, but look at the object with which we have called the show method, that is using object 2. So which show method will be executed now? Not this, obviously. Reason is object 2 is object of hello class. So it has to look for the show method which is there in the hello class, right? So the control is passed on to the show method of hello class. Here again the same thing happens. Just now we have discussed how it works, right? So what will happen here? Hello will be printed for 5 times. Here also we have that loop. So this is going to be our output. Hello 5 times. See, when you execute this code, all this output will be displayed at once. There is no delay over here. What if my requirement is I want to see these statements getting printed, these words getting printed on the screen. It shouldn't be like I execute the program and immediately I get all these output. My requirement is it has to print hi, then hi, hi. That means I should be able to see each of these words getting printed on the screen. That means I would like to introduce some delay between those print statements. Right? So what should be done? We have discussed in the previous class that there is a method called as sleep method which can introduce the specified amount of delay. So that we can use it over here. After printing once, it has to wait. Wait for a certain time, let's say half a minute. Half a second. Half a minute will be too longer, half a second. And then again it has to print. Then wait, print, wait. So we want to introduce that delay over here. So how to use that sleep method? Thread.sleep, correct? So we can do little modification over here. After printing this, we can call this sleep method and we need to give the time duration over here. So let's say I will give it as 500. That means I want to introduce a delay of 500 milliseconds. So that is approximately half a minute. Since sleep method may throw an exception, we need to take care of that. So this is under monitor. So I will place this within try block. So remember that sleep method has to be placed in the try block because it may throw an exception. It may throw an checked exception. Then we need to catch that. So catch, you can either write it as interrupted exception E or directly the superclass of that is exception and E, and here you can just write a message, the exception caught. So rest all will be same. So same thing we have to do it for the hello class as well. So this block, I mean these many lines of code have to be placed here as well. So that should be here also. So after making these modifications, when you run this program, you will get to see that the output will be something like this. First hi will appear and then again this word, this. That means you will be able to see each word getting printed on the screen instead of everything getting printed all at once instantly. So we have introduced some delay over here. Now what if, see in this case what is happening, all these hi words are getting printed and then all these hello words are getting printed. So these are two different things, right? So printing hi method is there over here, printing hello method is there over in other class I have taken. Of course you can write it in a single class, but they are not happening parallelly, right? They are not happening simultaneously. First, when we call this show method, it will finish its task. First, it will print all the highs. And then it goes for this show method call, which is responsible for printing hello. So this is not happening simultaneously. What if I want these two tasks to be done simultaneously, parallelly. They should work parallelly. Getting? So, in such scenario, in such situation, we can create a thread which is going to print the hi and another thread which is responsible for printing hello. And these two threads should run parallelly. That means the expected output here is hi should be printed, then hello, hi, hello, this way. We should get those words alternatively getting displayed. That means we want to show that both the threads are running parallelly. So how to do that? In that case, we have to make this as thread, one thread, and the hello class also to be a thread. So how to make it a thread? So we have seen that there are two methods using which we can create threads. One is extending the thread class and other method is implementing the interface, runnable interface. So let's see how we can create threads using or extending the thread class. So we already have this class hi, and I will write this as extends thread class. That means this hi is become a thread now. See, thread is a superclass now and hi is subclass. That means hi can acquire all the properties of thread class. So we know that in case of inheritance, a subclass can acquire the properties of superclass. That means hi has become a thread now. Similarly, hello also can be extends keyword. So once we have made them as threads, so threads will begin their task whenever there is a start method call. Right? So this will not work. Now they are threads. Right? So we cannot write it as object1.show or object2.show. See, these two are threads. So threads have to call the start method call to begin their work. So here it has to be object1.show, and similarly this has to be object2.start, and it has to be start. So is this sufficient? No. Because whenever there is a start method call, it will in turn call the run method. Right? So here we have not written any run method. So run method has to have the code that we want a thread to execute. So thread's main task is written inside the run method, right? So instead of show, it has to be a run. It should be a run. And same thing should be applied here as well. Right? So when we execute this program, now it will get the output as hi, and then immediately after this hello, hi, hello, this way. So let's see the demonstration of this, how this code works actually using Eclipse IDE. I will create a package over here, a new package, let's say example package. So in this, let me create classes. Let me create a sample class. Right, and so here is our sample class, but let me begin with the high class first, that is class high. See, so far what all we have discussed, let's try executing all that. So first we started with creating two classes. One is responsible for printing hi world for 5 times, and other class is responsible for printing hello world for 5 times. So for that sake we wanted a method. So let me take it as a show method. So in this show method we will use a loop which will iterate for 5 times, I less than or equals to 5, I plus plus, and here use the println method, and inside this we are printing the word I. Let's terminate this. Right. So here we have class I. Now we have to write one more class, that is class let's say hello class, and here again we need a show method. So the same thing I will copy from this hi class instead of retyping all that, and paste it over here, and we will write it as hello. That's the change. Now okay, let's see, this is our high class in which we have show method, and we have a loop that iterates for 5 times to print hi word. Similarly we have done this for hello also, and in the main method we need to create objects of those two classes. So we know that to create the objects we should use the name of the class and the name of the object. So hi object 1 equals to new hi, right. So here we have created object of hi class, and similarly we will do it for object 2. Okay. So once we have these two objects, we can start with the function call. Yes, what we are getting over here, what is the, okay. There is okay. Then we need to call these methods. So how do we call that? Using these objects, right? Object 1 dot show, and then we have object 2 dot show. So the reason for the error is here the class name is hi, I had mistakenly written, and then here is hello, that is correct, and then here we have the sample class. Yes, everything is fine now. So let's execute this and check the output. Yes, here is the output. You can see that at once I got the output over here, so it did not okay, when I executed this code, immediately it has shown me this result, right? So what we wanted here is, we wanted these words getting printed on the screen, and we watch those words getting printed, displayed, right? So for that sake, we have to introduce some delay over here. So how we have to do that? We have already discussed, that is, we need to use the sleep method which is there in the thread class. So it might throw an exception, so we have to place it in the try block, then use this thread clause, that is thread dot sleep, and we need to pass a parameter, let's say 500 milliseconds, right? And then we have to catch this exception, write a catch block. I will write the exception E, and then we have to print some appropriate message over here. So I'll just skip that part, and then the same thing has to be copied in the other for loop also, because we need to introduce that delay there as well. So here we shall paste that code, right? So now let's execute this code. Yes, now you can see that they are getting printed one after the other. So nothing was printed at once. So in the previous run, in the previous execution, we saw that all those 5 highs and all those 5 hello words were printed all at once. Instantly you could see that everything getting displayed on the screen. Now since we have introduced this delay, it is showing that each word is getting printed after half a second. Then we discussed about the threads, right? So why we wanted threads over here? We wanted thread because we wanted these two things happening parallelly, that is printing of hi method and printing of that hello word, hi word and hello word. So these two tasks should go hand in hand, I mean parallelly they should run. So the expected output here is hi and then hello, hi, hello. So this is what is the expectation. So to do that, what we did, we made these two threads, right? We extended the thread class. So same thing we will do it. Okay, here, so this has to be a thread class hi. We need to use the extends keyword, extends thread, fine. And then after this, we have to make this also as a thread, right? So extends thread. That means now hello and hi class have become the subclasses of thread class. After doing this, we have to make sure that these threads should begin their work by calling the start method. So now there is no more show method. So it has to call the start method. And as I mentioned earlier, whenever there is a start method call, it will in turn call the run method. That means inside the thread, we should have a run method. That is, it is actually, we are overriding this run method from the thread class. So this is the run method. We have to override this from the thread class. So here again need to change this show. Instead of this show, we should have it as a run. Correct. So these are the changes that we did. And now execute this and check the output for this. Yes. You can see that we are getting hi, hello, and then hello, hi, hello. So this way. That means we are not getting them in order, though they are working parallelly. So now the output is not just hi printing 5 times and then after that hello getting printed 5 times. Now we know that we have 2 threads, they are running parallelly. So the expected output here is hi, hello, alternatively getting printed. Is it happening here? It is not. See, there is a problem here. There is an issue. Why we are getting this type of output? See this, when we have these 2 threads, those 2 threads go and request the CPU, right? So at some point of time, both these threads go and ask for the CPU the same time, right? So there is a possibility. That is what has happened over here. See what happens whenever there are multiple threads demanding for processing, demanding for the service. So there will be some kind of algorithm in your operating system that will be is running, based on which it will take the decision. So right now, what will happen whenever you have these 2 threads going and requesting for the service? So randomly, one of the threads will be chosen and that thread will be executed. Correct. So that is the reason we are getting it as hello and then that hello thread got the opportunity, and after that the hi thread, then hello thread. So at some point of time, both the threads went for the request. They wanted their work to be done, and random picking has happened, and randomly some thread was chosen to be executed, and this is the result of this, right? So how to avoid this? We can have some kind of delay between these 2 start method calls. So when we wrote it as object1.start, see the first thread has started, so we got it as hi. And after this, see, there is certain amount of delay over here between the start method call of object1, that is the first thread, and the second thread. But at some point of time, what happened? Both wanted the service, their process to be executed, right? So we have got this thing, this particular output on the screen. We can introduce a delay over here. See why we get this kind of error is both threads have same priority and both threads reach CPU at the same time. Correct? So CPU picks one thread randomly and we see hello, hi, hello, this kind of output which is not in order. So if we want to avoid this, we can introduce delay at the start itself. So here after the first start method call, I will introduce a delay using the sleep method. Again, this might throw an exception. I have placed this within the try block and put some milliseconds of delay over here. So let me take it as just 10 milliseconds, and we need to have a proper catch block to catch this exception if the interruption happens, if there is interrupted exception thrown. So this will be taken care by this catch block. Fine. So now let's run this code and see whether we get the expected result over here. Yes, perfectly all right. So now you can see that we have got this hi and hello getting alternatively printed on the screen after some kind of delay is introduced between the start of the first and the second thread. So this is one example that shows. So we started with normal classes, we had classes, and then we saw that it was printing all this message at once. Then we introduced some delay so that we were able to see all these words getting printed on the screen when we execute that. And after that we wanted these two things should happen parallelly, right? So if we want two things happen parallelly, we have to have a threads over here, right? So we made this as one thread, this as another thread. So whenever we have thread classes objects, we need to have a start method call, and we know that there is a run method that gets in turn called by the start method. So we wrote the run method over here and in the other class as well. So the tasks that we want to perform have to be written inside the run methods. Correct. So after this, when we executed the code, we could see that there were some hi words getting printed and hello words getting printed alternatively. But at some point of time, we observed that 2 or 3 times the same message getting printed. That means there was no alternate switching between both the threads, thread 1 and thread 2. So the reason was both the threads have the same priority, right? So both threads reach CPU at the same time. So CPU picks randomly one of the threads and put that thread for the task, on task, right? So that was a problem. So we resolved that problem by introducing a delay of 10 milliseconds between these two start methods, right? So when we executed this, finally we have got this particular thing which is the expected result. So this is how the threads can be created. So now here we have extended the thread class. So we have seen one method, how to create threads using the thread class is discussed so far. We know that we have another approach, that is we can even create threads by implementing the runnable interface. So why do we need that another approach? Let's say for example here I have this class hi and class hello over here. Let's consider one more class. Let's say class A. Class A, there is something written over here, and consider that there is a requirement such that hi class requires some of the features to be acquired from class A. So it is the requirement of class hi now that it wants some of the features from class A to be picked. So what it has to do? It has to be extended from that, right? It has to be a subclass of class A now. So that will be something like this. We have class A. So there is some lines of code. Also we have this thread class. We need this thread class as well because we have to create threads. And now we have this class hi. So can we write it as class hi extends A, comma, thread? Is it possible? Or extends A, extends thread, and then write all other code as it is? This is not possible. In Java, using extend keyword, you cannot inherit from two superclasses, two classes I mean. There is no concept of multiple inheritance that can be done using this extends keyword. So this cannot happen. So if you are in such a situation, you cannot use this extends thread. So that is what we have done there. We did that because we wanted only the high class getting inherited from the thread class. Now the scenario is, if class A is there and the class high requires some of the features from class A, then how to create thread as well as how it can be inherited from class A? This is not possible, right? So if you come across with such situations, you have to use the runnable interface instead of thread class. That is the only difference. Otherwise, you can create threads using thread class or using runnable interface. That is left to you. As per your requirement, you can do it. Now let's see how we can do it using the runnable interface. So let me remove this class A. So I do not require this. I just explained you why we use runnable interface. So instead of this extends thread, we have to write it as class hi implements runnable interface. And then here also we need to do the same changes. So class hello implements runnable. Runnable is an interface. Then what else we need to do over here? In the main method, see, we had written earlier object1.start and object2.start over here. But now you can see that it is showing some errors over here. What is that error? Why are we getting this error? See, now object 1 is object of class high, which is not a thread now, right? We have not extended it from the thread class. We have implemented the runnable interface. So here we need to create thread and then call the start method. See, the start method is present in the thread class. So whenever you want to call any method from the thread class, we have to use the object of the thread class, then dot operator and the name of the method. So this is how we call the methods, right? But is these object 1 and object 2 are objects of thread class now? No. They are no more objects of the thread class. The reason is we have removed this part, that is class high extends thread. So that extends thread is removed. Now it is implementing a runnable interface. But when we call this start method is present in the thread class. That means we need to have the thread classes objects to call the start method. That means we need to create two threads here using the thread class. So let's do that here. Thread T1 equals to new thread and thread T2 equals to new thread, and using these threads we have to call the start method, that is T1 dot start and T2 dot start. We are not getting anything. The reason is we have to pass these threads over here. We need to pass over here, that is hi object and hello object, that is object 1, and here we need to pass object 2. Yes. So what we did here is we made some changes. We removed that extends thread keyword and then we used implements runnable, and here we created two threads. The necessity of creating those two threads was whenever we have to call the start method, see, to run any thread we need to call the start method. So we have to have the thread classes objects, and we have to pass the objects of hi and hello classes over here, because the task to be done is written in the run methods of hi and hello classes, right? So those two objects should be passed as parameters to the thread classes constructor. Actually, whenever we create thread T1 equals to new thread, we are passing the hi classes object and hello classes objects as parameters over here, right? So now you can see that using those two threads T1 and T2, we are able to call those start methods, which are in turn will be calling the run method. So we already know that inside the run method we have the for loop, which is going to print the words hi and hello 5 times, and this is the result of this. So this is about creating threads using the thread class and the runnable interface. And we have one more important concept to be discussed, that is inter-thread communication. So that we shall take up in the next class. That's all for today's lecture. Thank you.